That's another way to handle client objections. Aim to help decision making. That is what it should be aimed at. Because many clients that you come across, some of them might not really know what they want. They might have an idea, but they might not know. They might not know the reason why they want it. So what you should aim at is help them make a decision, an impactful decision. Aim to help decision making. Now it says you cannot really answer an objection, but you can answer a question. The key to handling objections is to rephrase them into questions that can help the customer make better decisions. Find the underlying questions helps us find the customer's true aspirations and motivations, which may be business related, but quite often are very personal. Do you see that? Because most times, a lot of times, they have aspirations and motivations behind whatever questions you're asking, behind whatever objections. And they're telling us here now that it may be business related or might be very personal. One very, very key, one very personal objection that we come up with most times on the field is the problem of fraud. Is the issue of fraud. That is that's a very, very personal issue. Very personal. So when a client is giving you some kind of objections, you should know that that is an opportunity to help their decision making by asking further questions. By asking further questions, because you need to find underlying questions to help you find the customer's true aspirations and motivations. That is still very, very key. So number 3 is very, very important. Aim to help decision making. Most times it's not really about the sale. Yes, we're going to get there, sir. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But that's a very, very, very important question. But like I said, if you notice what they said their motivation and aspirations may be business related or very personal. So if I told you to ask any question, you should know that it's either be related with it being personal or it's business related. It's either of the two. You cannot tell all the objections you can come across in the field. You cannot explain everything right now. You can't explain everything right now. But we should know that some objections that will come up is either is business related or is personal. It is either of the two. But it's now left to us to now ask questions, underlying questions that will find their true aspirations and motivations. If you remember, sir, I don't know if you were here when Mr. Jackson was speaking about a objection. Now he says, every prospect has objections. But it is important to get more color to understand what is behind the objection. The goal is to uncover the big problems that the organization is trying to solve and understand who owns them. Many salespeople stumble because they don't spend enough time understanding the people and the big problems. So you can see that. Understand what is behind the objection. Very, very, very key. Very, very key. Understand what's behind the objection. We have said this now by asking questions, asking relevant questions, and being patient enough to hear the client out. Being patient enough to communicate and not make it just all about the sale. You can get enough answers that will give you a better understanding of their objection. And the beautiful part about it all, right, is that what this does is it prepares you for the next client. Because most times, as you have successfully gotten the underlying factors and reasons for the objection, it prepares you for the next client that you meet. A next client that you meet might have similar objections with that particular person, and then you already have a phrase of what to put out to that client. So that's why we have to be grounded. We have to be grounded and patient. Very grounded and patient whenever we're handling objections, because it prepares us for other clients that we meet. All right? Now, number 5, re-examine your offerings. Re-examine your offerings. Remember that the objection they are giving you is an objection based on the offering you are presenting. That is what the objection is all about. It's all about the offering that you are. What are you offering to them? The objection is majorly about that. Sometimes it might not even really be about the product, but how you have structured the offer to them. That's when they now start firing with objections. Objections left, objection right, objection front, objection center. Fire your objections. So re-examine your offerings. Now it says, objections indicate a lack of trust in some area or an underlying need to be heard. Do you see that? Is that true or not? Most times, objections indicate lack of trust. Most times, majority of the times, they indicate lack of trust in some area or an underlying need to be heard. There are several real estate agents and consultants out there, many who are not patient enough to hear out the clients, the prospects. So whenever they are bringing objections your way, you know that it's a lack of trust or an underlying need to be heard. They want to be heard. They want their pains to be understood. Now it says, find out what you can offer that will bring them a long-term solution. You see why they had to add long-term solution? They had to add that. It had to be added. You know why? Because a solution can be provided, and then in no time, another problem resurfaces. But when you are providing a solution, let it be a long-term solution that you can assure them that this solution will serve you for a particular period of time. All these things we are saying is applicable in just about any business, not even only real estate, any business at all. Now it says, nothing lends more credibility than proof of a successful collaboration. Nothing lends more credibility than proof of a successful collaboration. Present a previous case study where the prospect had similar objections and the outcome was successful. Have you heard this saying before that people don't buy your products? What they buy is your story. Is the story behind that product. I'm sure most of us have heard that saying before. They buy the story. What this is telling us is that you can present a case study of a prospect that you have worked with before, that you know the person presented similar objections and then how you handled it. Doesn't mean that we have to lie. We don't have to lie. But do deep research on what we have done so far. It might be the littlest of example. But it's very, very key to know that there is credibility when you show proof of a successful collaboration, which is when a client has given you the objections and you have successfully provided long-term solution. So remember, re-examine your offering. Re-examine your offering. It's still very, very key. Now moving on, number 6, pay attention to what objections reveal. If you are attentive enough, believe me, you know that the objection that client is bringing to you is revealing some things. You know, we've spoken about SWOT before, the SWOT analysis, the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. If you are attentive enough, you know that those objections is going to be leading you to one of those areas of the SWOT analysis. If you're attentive enough, you will know whether your product is going to have more edge as a threat, as an opportunity, and you know its strengths, if you are attentive enough. So pay attention to what objections reveal. Objections don't always serve to convert the prospect you're talking to. It doesn't always serve to convert them from prospect to actual clients. But it says, but they can provide invaluable information if you are paying attention. If you are paying attention, you will see that the objection they are giving you is revealing much more potential about your product. So, in as much as we know that it's the sale that we are headed for, but let's know that the objections that you are giving about your product is as much important. It's very important. So he says, objections can point to misalignments that will help you refine and prepare you for targeting the next prospects. Misalignments that will help you refine and prepare you for targeting the next prospect. That is why you should pay attention. Now it says, there's an opportunity to consider how your product stacks up against the competition and a gut check on the market segment you are prospecting. So most importantly, part of what the objections are going to reveal is an opportunity to consider how your product stacks up against the competition of whatever business it is. Whatever business. Is it cosmetics? Is it real estate? Is it clothing? No matter whatever it is, if you are attentive enough to the objections given by your client, you'll be able to know the misalignments in your product. Because if that person has that issue with your product, believe me, there are much more people that will have similar objections. So, pay attention to what objections reveal. Very, very important. Now, we have 7. Build a comfortable relationship. build a comfortable relationship. Now, if you observe one very major thing about relationship, people feel very comfortable, especially when you approach them with smiles. They feel much more comfortable with you when you approach them with smile. There are much other ways to build a comfortable relationship. But one major way is to keep an approachable look on your face. Don't look tensed. Don't be in a haste. All these are things that I am sure that we already know, but this is part of what we should focus on. This is one very major way to build a good relationship with any consultant, any client at all, to handle their objections, is build a comfortable relationship. Now, it says it is important that you pay attention and listen to your clients very early on in the new relationship. By doing so, you create confidence and a level of comfort with good understanding that builds a professional relationship with your new clients. People like being listened to. Even if the person is telling a personal story. In fact, you can even start asking more questions on that personal story, just so that you can build a relationship with that particular client. Even if the person is telling something about his family or something about his friend, you pay attention. You just listen and just carry on. Just move along with the whole discussion, knowing that it's not really all about the sale, but all about making sure that I build a good relationship with this customer. Now, number 8, prepare beforehand. Prepare. This one is also one very, very key thing for every one of us. Prepare beforehand. Now, let me use the chess game as an example. Now, when chess players when they are racking it out and competing against each other, the two players, they are both trying to predict their moves. Both of them are trying to predict their moves. Like, what can this person do that will hurt my own team? What can I do that will hurt this person's team? That same strategy is what we are to deploy, is to predict the objections from a particular client and then prepare an answer for them. Prepare an answer for them. You know, that is why one of the classes that we held one time was we're tackling the pain points that you experience while marketing Vatican Garden estates. And somebody brought up the issue of insecurity. And Mr. Jackson brought an answer, which is, he said, where is there no insecurity in Nigeria? He started with that, started asking that question. Some clients might not be satisfied with that, mind you. But the truth about the matter is, there's a way you prepare an answer for that client that he will feel rest assured that insecurity is not a reason for you not to buy this land. So you see that, prepare beforehand. There are so many layers of preparation that we can do, so many things to consider, but we should be prepared beforehand. Let us expect some certain type of objections. First of all, with the general real estate industry. Second of all, with your country. Third of all, with your products. These are the 3 layers now that you should expect objections from. You're going to also expect it, and you should prepare beforehand. Now he says, before you meet with your prospect, consider some questions. Why is this product a good fit for this client? That's one question you should ask yourself. Why is this product a good fit for this client? What objections could the client have to this product? How can we overcome their objections? These are 3 very major objections, 3 very, very major things that we must ask ourselves. You know, it enables us prepare. Like we said, if you're not prepared enough, you will stumble when the objections are thrown at you. But when you are prepared enough, you can answer with confidence. You answer with confidence. It says, if you are prepared to help the prospect understand how your product meets their needs, because you've already considered their objections, they will know that you understand their business. Like we said in previous points, that every client that you meet, they have a particular buying process that they have. Understand it. Understand it. They all have a buying process. Understand their own buying. What is their own buying process? What do they want to know about your product? What are the objections that the client will have about your product? Why is this product a good fit for your client? All these are questions that we must have already answered by ourselves before going out there. So number 8 is prepare beforehand. Very important. Prepare beforehand. Now number 9, truly listen to them. Truly listen to them. Not being in a haste. Not being in a haste to close deal. Truly listen to them. You can act like this person is your very close pal. This person is your son. This person is your daughter. But truly listen to them. This is very, very key. Now, it says, I have always said that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. The first thing to do is to truly listen to what is and is not being said. Objections can be direct challenges to moving forward. This is too true. They can be direct challenges to moving forward. But many times, there are smoke screens to what is really going on behind the scenes. Also, triangulate on these objections with other stakeholders. So, truly listen to them. Truly listen to them. What he's saying is that objections can be a direct challenge to moving forward, and that is just the truth. It can be a direct challenge to moving forward. But if we are truly able to listen to them, if we are truly able to give them that listening ear, you'll be able to find out what your objections reveal and the solutions, the long-term solutions you can provide for that particular client. So truly listen. This is even one of the very most important things. Truly listen to them without being in a haste. Now, number 10. Okay, this is a repetition. What is that? But this number 10 is actually meant to be, don't be concerned about the selling. That's actually what it's meant to be. Forget about the selling. Especially when objections start being thrown at you. Don't even just act like you are there to sell anymore. Act like you are there to educate. Forget about selling. Forget about the selling. Don't act like you are there to sell anymore. Because most times, most people who are big in the real estate, they can meet 20 clients, 40 clients. It's only one that changes their story. That's just the truth. Many people who are big in real estate today, aside as consultants, they've met 40 people, 50 people, but it's one person that changes the story. One person. So that one person could be that person that you gave all the listening ear to. That one person could be the person that you ask all relevant questions. That one person could be the one person that you created a comfortable relationship with. But it's one person that changes the story. One person. One person. So if we can try as much as possible to act like every single client that we are meeting is that one person, we would give rapt attention to whatever it is they are saying and forget about trying to sell. In as much as we know that that is the end goal, but we try and forget about what we're trying to sell. Treat every single prospective client that you're meeting as that one client that will change the story. Treat every single one of them like that. Every one of them. Because you never can tell. The one client that will come and change the whole story, you never can tell when it will come. You never can tell how. But the truth of the matter is that it is by your own steps that that client will still make his way through to you. By your own steps. So now, with all this that has been said, it is now left for us to pay attention to our response. And one very key thing that can help us is our own patience. You know, a good listener has patience as a value that can never be negotiated with. Patience. It is very, very key. Now, in conclusion, objection handling can be frustrating. Let's not say it can be frustrating, but virtually unavoidable in sales. It is unavoidable. But if you know how to get to the roots of your prospect issues, lead with empathy, understand where most objections come from, and read these kind of interactions appropriately, you will be in a good position to handle these issues as they arise. So you see that. You get into the root of the prospect issues. Lead with empathy. Understand where most of the objections come from. So that is it. Objections are unavoidable. They are unavoidable. As a salesperson, this is something that we've all seen on the field. They are unavoidable. But by the time we can prepare beforehand and then know the root cause of your prospect issues, lead with empathy, and understand where most objections come from, we can have a better chance of being successful. With all being said, I believe I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that these are the 10 ways of handling customers' objections. Any questions? All right, throw it. Okay, that one, yes, we're going to address it. Yes. Okay.
In those taxation,
Yeah.
what are the most likely questions
To ask.
Maybe the clients?
Yes.
Sorry, the prospect.
The prospect. Okay.
Can throw at you, and what are the most likely
responses to give.
that you can respond back.
Respond to them. Yes.
We need to,
Of course. Now you see, the actual plan is this class. My plan was to hold a much more elaborative class in the next session, still on handling objections. And this one is going to be attached to real estate, but we are still going to. I'm still going to touch on what you just said. Now, if you remember what they said most objections are as a result of trust, of not being able to trust. Most of them. So, as regards real estate, first of all, whatever question they're going to throw at you, first of all, would rather go around how authentic is your company, first of all. They want to know how authentic is your company. That's one, because what that particular question is addressing is your own company. How can they actually give me a land or a property that is safe? Exactly. So, when you can, if you really know your company, like now you know C-Plat, you know all of our certificates and everything, all you have to let them know is, do you have your WhatsApp? I will send to you our certificate so you know that we are authentic. Because you see that problem, many real estate companies, I'm telling you, a lot of real estate companies that are segregating right now, many of them, they go about selling products, but trust me, they're not as authentic. And many people, even there's even a man in Pramatech Plaza that bought land in Lekki. Till date, he bought land like how many years ago? Till date, no documents, nothing. Do you see that? And you have many of all these companies moving here and there, and then they are mobilizing consultants here and there. So one of the very first things that people don't want to have issues with is fraud, being defrauded. So that is the very first thing that can be addressed. That's the very, very first thing that can be addressed. So by the time you can make them understand that the company that you are representing, they have their certificates. Check our certificates. Read them.
Most of them are registered with CAC. Have their documentation, this and that.
And then they still get to defraud companies.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, people that will defraud people, at least they will package themselves, certificate, everything. So many people will not believe on your certificate.
It's true.
Yes. The main thing is, let's say results. Okay, what are your clients? How many people have listened to?
Okay, that's another part to reason it from.
One of the negative also is all this fraud stuff. Is that that's what most times is good for clients or even others to go to offices to look at them.
Yes.
Let me give an instance now. Like, I don't know how it is for other people how they do it, but I think restaurants now we have been here for close to 1 year. That's what
Yes.
not from the former one.
More than 1 year, in fact.
For somebody to come here and then believe that we are scam for walking to this office now. Because we think, so these people will just pack up tomorrow and run away. It's possible.
Of course, there are companies like that. There are companies. But
At the same time, it's stressful.
that very first one you said about the result, how many people have we sold to? And they have gotten their own allocation.
How long? So that's what my friend sold to somebody. I don't want to mention the name of the company. Though you may know the company, but I don't want to mention all of us will know the company. Since 2017 and 2018, say that the client has been on his neck.
Wow.
For what allocation? For allocation.
Wow.
Up to since 2017, count to is over 5 years.
Wow.
The client is on his neck, threatening to take him to party.
But have the client paid the documentation?
Huh?
Have the client paid for the documentation?
The client has paid for the land, has paid everything about the land. Documentation, then it is now left for the company to say, okay, bring me this thing. But the company, they are not showing any sign that
Okay, wait, the client have not paid for documentation.
I don't know whether
No,
they
if he has not paid, he will not ask for documents now.
What I know is that the So the documentation is what I don't really.
I'm
know.
not sure
It's-
No, I mean for this case now, I'm not sure documentation is a problem.
Documentation is not the
Most
problem.
times, if the company cannot allocate, they can't ask you for documentation.
Yes, now,
That's
true.
the issue there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the man was, if you're telling the man, come and put documentation before allocate you, you must have paid the money for this allocation.
Yes.
Probably the company has an issue about the land and they don't have that allocation.
The man cannot even take him to court to say because he represents the company which is registered.
That
So
problem is
say what?
That problem represents what?
The problem to me is absurd because the company has an
For
asset.
those people, they don't know the company.
So it's just an internal problem that will happen.
They don't know C class. Are you be the C class where they?
Yes, at that point in time. Yes, yes.
The person is buying based on cost, based on you.
Yes, you and what you've told them.
If you want, the company he represented will handle the matter on behalf of the state.
If the company is representing, you take the client to the office.
Yes, first things first. Yes, handling from there.
Now, which I suppose they say the realtor did. He took them to the office.
But if the company is not real, then who else will face the music? Is it not you?
Yes, no.
That is when
Because I will just pray.
Yeah, the praise is not you.
that is when the company is not real. Everybody will say that both of us here
You know the
know
one
the
that is
company,
real.
but you don't want to mention the company. The company will stand. That is why registration is very important. If you know the importance of registration, you will not be talking about all these things. If you want if you want to sue that claim, it is the company that you are suing to court.
See,
You
let
understand?
me tell you this. Just pray that.
Pray and pray.
But there's something.
Pray
that
and
I think
pray.
the
You
company
didn't
came
know
out
how
was
much.
in
No.
around
If
8
I'm
or
Many
9
people
years
have.
ago.
Except
Many
I'm
people
saying
are
I'm
impacted
telling
because of
individual
this case.
property.
Okay, it's
As
true.
long as I'm representing a company that I know is
I
authentic.
don't understand why you
You
Yeah, I feel she's about to say something.
Cannot overwhelm me to the extent that except the company has folded up. You understand?
Sometimes it's like that, so what you say, because there was a
I'm
client
not afraid of all those
I
things.
met, the man bought insurance. He said that the insurance don't want to pay his claims, that is not matured. Okay, the lady that the agent is not picking her call, say, if
Wow.
she call, they really push her to the, well, go to the company. He has gone to the company several times to, he said he even went there with his friend, they used their car to form their insurance, everybody is coming until they settle him. He
Wow.
started begging him. After begging, they now pay small. The main the balance, they did not pay. So anytime you call the agent will want people. So who are they going to, who is he going to catch it?
No, see,
It
it's not
took
the
him to a
the
company.
truth is that
The
the
man
money
should,
is in
the
the
man
company
should, the
now.
man has the liberty to sue the company to court. It's not the
It's not, in
It's
this
not
case,
the-
it's not the agent now
it's not
because
the
the money
agent.
is in the company.
Company.
it's not the agent.
The company is
Except you
there.
say that
The company
independent
has not
property.
folded up. The company is there, so it's not the fault of the.
You don't know the law. Law has an eye.
The
It
company
sees.
itself is not even functioning like that. They are going down.
But as long as it's registered, it's still under
There's
the
nothing
law.
like register. See, if
But the actual thing is,
insurance company and the insurance company know they recapitalize them. And if there is any problem, I would have asked you now if it is a problem. We have Nikon, you just complain within 24 hours, you get the results. So it depends, there is no insurance company now, as I'm talking now, that you wrote a client's money, they are pay you. Immediately it gets to Nikon, that insurance company is in trouble. They must
That
pay.
is the company, not an individual.
No, it's not an individual.
Yeah.
Because that's why
Yeah.
anywhere you are, you must be protected.
Huh?
That is
So for now, I myself,
Okay,
I work with
okay.
Ico Insurance Company. Then I have my Nikon license and everything. So if a client is doing anything, provided what I am doing is genuine, you get me everything, it is in the system. When you go there, you will see it, your documents and everything is in there. So anywhere you want to go, you
You
go.
go now.
okay. Now let's now answer this question.
An independent
let's answer this question together, right? Let's answer it together because the major topic now is how to prove the authenticity of your company. That's the major thing. Now, let's now go back to this. It says, nothing lends more credibility than proof of a successful collaboration. So if you have any client that has actually gotten his own documents, survey, everything allocated, you can do a very brief interview with that client and have it for your own personal use. So that whenever you go anywhere, you let them know that see the video of somebody who bought. And you make the client say some very nice things about the company that will enable you sell better. So that is just it. Let there be a proof of successful collaboration. So if at all you know anybody that has sold a property in that particular company, let them do a brief interview with that client who has gotten a location. And I'm telling you, you will find out that whenever anybody has objections about the authenticity of a company, you just show the person the video, and then you are good to move. Yes, but the issue is, the problem is you as a consultant, you are the one who made that client to invest. That's the first, and that is just the major issue. So that's why, yes, but the truth is, you are the one. If you were not there, if you didn't go to that man, he will not buy that property. That's just the thing. Because of you, because of your words and your conviction. At least there's some clients that will put on you. Yeah, exactly. It's called a police case. Yeah, we don't know.
We listen to her. Don't argue.
Just matter of praying and everything. Because there's something that we did. The company came out. The office was at a new nation. The thing came out. If you see how people are rushing it, everything is like an insurance. It's like a life celebration when somebody dies.
Okay, yeah, I think I know that plan.
We did it. They did that. We know we did everything. So at a time, we now found out that the thing was not real. That place at Allen Avenue, they relocated. Okay. And people that bought their material and everything that time, they were going there, they would give them one thing or the other, an item, to show that they are real. But what something happened last 2 months ago, I get a call. Somebody called me, say you're so person. I said yes. Please, my mother is so sick. I mean what? I want to go to that office. I said, please, sir, can you call, because the lady that was in charge informed. I said, he has been calling the line won't go. I said, I don't know exactly where the office is. The address is in the plan and everything. And luckily that time they gave them frame and things like that. I said, you can use their address and their number to locate them that they are there. So I said, see, well, I didn't need the man call back because I went there to.
Let's come and have a seat.
We did presentation in that place. See, now the thing folded is somehow. To get back there, you cannot get any business around that place. Even if when you come, you say it's a scam. It's like that one. But it's like that. So, but this one is land. They used to tell us that somebody's money is his sweat. Somebody's blood.
Yes.
Blood is his money. So you don't mess it up.
From me, one product. You know what he said? He said, I'm buying this
Because of you.
because of you. It's you. I don't know this.
Yes, it's you.
So somebody that told you such a thing, what do you think?
If there's an issue, you will be the one that will hold. Okay. Wow. Even with that, even when it's policeman. Wow. Wow.
This is the problem we are facing.
Mm.
I think one lady that happened to me about you last week was
Then you're not
you know, I saw the flyer.
I know that would be come up. I said,
It's good.
I don't collect any money.
But this is this company, are they giving instant information? Because I
Then he
know
was saying the way
people
they read them as such, then now
Okay.
I should go with it. I haven't chosen my mind.
he
Said, they were saying,
that I said you are new
they
to
now
this
know
business.
that
Are you not
they are
new? He said
shouting.
yes.
It's when the lawyer said I
He
should
said
talk,
I've been
I
in
talk.
this business.
Then what he said I should write, I write.
I belong to get to that.
Okay.
I get it. So like this one, at least I'm sure of Sikla. I know this, not from here.
So when they now came and see that they were saying the back
So with this one, like you know, they will now give you a
even
application.
my
You know,
boss
in fact,
told us.
the best way is to show me your survey plan. Because many of them don't have survey plan. Many of them don't have survey plan. Just keep on buying. They don't know how many that are sold, how many that are
don't know what you're doing. And maybe you're paying to this company.
many of them do subscribe what they have, you know. A lot of in fact
Yeah, okay. Hello. One house, okay.
The question I want to ask now, like this, it's written by and use.
Yes.
I will not be told the client saw it, okay, it's a buy, okay. Is it buy and yes. Are people living there? Are people certainly living in this around that place?
Okay, all these are questions that you know you're going to be thrown at. I mean, it's true.
Are people